When Mike asked for payment, he was only asking for, I don't remember how much. After my brain is not braining to do the math on this right now, but just take, like $1,500 away from $4,000, and okay, yeah, that would be $2,500, I think, is what he was asking for. Because in total, it was going to be $4,000 for the total job that would have cost them at least 20 grand to have another outfit come in and do it. Somebody with actual experience that knows what they're doing to come in and do it. So he asked for payment, and, she could have made arrangements if they didn't have the money, even though they're throwing money away left and right for cows and, like, buying cows and selling cows for $15,000, $25,000, $50,000. They're selling all these cows, and she can go and pay everybody else. But when he asked for money for doing all that electrical work, she just walked off into the house, and her husband came out and basically told us to just take them to court, knowing that, we're not going to take them to court because, it's bullshit the way everything went down. We had no contract. It was all verbal. There was no evidence. It was their word against ours. They knew they had us. So, thank God they're the ones that bought the material. Now, if we would have purchased the material, then that might have been a different story. Because the only thing we were out was our time. And the expense of getting there, But, thankfully, they're the ones that bought the material. So, that made it better. Okay, we've got this guy blocking the trail. Now, the good thing about possums is that these guys cannot have rabies. They do not carry rabies.
We're going to go around you.
Is he hurt?
No.
Look at his... Well, the bad thing about possums is they play possum. They act like they're dead when they get scared, so he's in a paralytic state. But possums do not carry rabies. Now, don't you get all vicious with us. There you go.
You live in your tree.
I bet that's the one that lives in that tree over here that I seen.
That one right there?
Well, I don't know. It was a tree on the right that had a hole in it. Anyway, so he was blocking our trail. He lives down there in that root bed right there. He's right down there. Sun's not going to let you see, but he's right there. You can see him. Yeah, he thinks he's hiding. But, that's our traffic jam. I like those kind. But anyway, so she proceeds to just go in the house and send her husband out. Her husband just said, take us to court. Before my husband even had a chance to call me and let me know that they're not going to pay him, she had already blocked me on Facebook, and she had already blocked my number. So I had no way. She knew all along. That's probably why she started ghosting me like months, even probably a year before this. As soon as he started doing the electrical work, she just was very vague, very short, very, like unavailable. And I don't know. So she still has me blocked. So they got all that work done. But you know what? Every time she turns on a light or plugs something in where Mike did the work, she's going to remember that she screwed a good person and somebody that was just trying to do the right thing and do right by her. And she did that. She ghosted me. She treated me like shit. She unfriended me, blocked me, just because she didn't want to pay for the work. All the work that my husband had done. And they knew that we didn't have a contract, so they knew they had us over a barrel. So, make sure, I mean, I didn't expect this from her. I really didn't, you know. We'd been friends for so many years, off and on, always able to pick right back up where we left off. And for her to, and, you know, just to treat me like family long enough to get as much use out of me as she could. And I should have seen the signs. The red flags were there, everything. You know, her friendship is transactional. And I should have caught on that the only time she will, like, treat you like you mean something is if you're doing something for her to make her come out ahead. And she's always been a thief. No. Obviously, she's still a thief. So, I'm not mentioning names, but there's not very many big-time Highland cattle breeders in Licking, Missouri. So, do the math. You'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my ride. And just don't do business with friends, people you think are your friend, unless you want to find out how they really feel about you and who they really are. Because she acts like she's godly. She acts like she's like so spiritual and so sweet and loving. And no, it's a mask. Anyway, have a great day, y'all.